Hey guys, welcome to the NBA Daily for May 13th, Wednesday. I just wanted to make a couple of news and notes around the NBA and also around here. But yeah, one of the things coming out of the league is the latest on LeBron James. Will he retire? Will he come back to the Lakers? Will he be elsewhere? I heard Nick Wright today on a social post by The Herd say he was offended on LBJ's behalf in terms of what might be coming, saying he's the only guy in the league of his stature being asked to take a mid-level exception and calling it correct. We're talking Steph, slightly younger, but similar kind of career in terms of where he's at. He got a $63 million contract he's playing under. KD's playing under a $44 million contract per year. So, Nick Wright said if LeBron James takes anything under the 1 year max, he's giving them charity to whoever he plays for. I'm assuming he's kind of referring to the Lakers because he did say he wants him back on the Lakers. So he's one of the dozen most impactful players in a playoff series, and he told us that he basically played SGA even in this series against the Thunder, while also facing a better defensive team, the best defensive team in the league. So I know there are many thoughts about LeBron James out there. I've seen hate from him. I understand it. When people are comparing him to Michael Jordan, it's an interesting comparison. And it's all dependent on when you grew up. That's one of the things, all depending on your perspective. But I think it's true. LeBron James, he's everyone's, I've heard, and maybe this is just the people I listen to, but I'm not a Nick Wright guy. I don't listen to Fox Sports 1. I don't listen to The Herd that often. But I've heard a lot of people say, LeBron James is the only guy in the league who's asked to be paid under what his performance is. And that's true. You can't deny that. At his age, doing what he's doing, I know he missed a layup at the end of the game against the Thunder in Game 4. Sure, that was a mismanagement. There was problems all over the court there. But you can't deny that LeBron James is being asked, and maybe he'll retire and this won't even be an issue. But if as Nick Wright said, he wants him back on the Lakers, and he's assuming the Lakers are going to ask him to take the mid-level exception. We'll see. But what do you think? Is LeBron James underpaid? Should he get kind of a Steph-level contract, at least a KD-level contract? He's going to get 50. What do you think about Austin Reeves? There's been a lot of discussion about him as well for the Lakers. But there's a lot of questions out there around the Lakers after getting swept by the Thunder in that series in round 2. We'll see what happens with the Spurs and the Timberwolves tomorrow night. We'll see if the Spurs can close that out and face the Thunder in a fantastic Western Conference Finals. But what do you think about LeBron James? Is he underpaid? Will he be underpaid? What are your thoughts? But a couple of things here, just notes on the show, and then we'll get into a couple a small take. I'm on the run, but I want to give you a small take on the game tonight. Coming up in a little bit, you will hear from Rob Adams on the New York baseball scene. He gave me a little take on that when we discussed the New York Knicks earlier this past weekend. But I wanted to throw that out there, kind of bridge the gap between our NBA coverage and our upcoming MLB live streams. He discusses the Yankees and the Mets, the New York feelings, the New York Metro City feelings about what's going on with those teams. I think if you're national, if you're not New York, if you're Richmond, if you're anywhere in the national landscape, you may say, pretty sure I know what the feelings on the Mets are. You may know what the Yankees feelings are, but I think that's a little bit more nuanced. The Mets are pretty obvious. But I appreciate his take. You'll hear from him tonight at some point, maybe later tonight. But I'll get that out. But I did want to give you a take on Cleveland and Detroit, which will probably be starting right around the time I get this up. The thought is, this series is intriguing. It's gotten intriguing because Cleveland took the 2 at home, and it's fascinating. Cleveland is 6-0 at home in this postseason. They've won both in this series, obviously the past 2. Detroit is 5-1 at home in this postseason. They're 2-0 in this series. Here's the thing. Cleveland is 0-5 on the road. I think a lot of people are thinking Detroit will win tonight. Cleveland's got momentum. We'll see if Donovan Mitchell can continue what was a historic tear in the second half last night, equaling the most points in a half with a guy of all time. So we'll see what happens tonight. I'm going to go with the crowd. I know it's not an interesting take, but I think Detroit will win tonight, and I think Detroit will give New York a better series. But after Game 4, we'll see what happens. If Cleveland can't win on the road at all, then I don't think the Knicks have to worry about Cleveland. Maybe just Mobley and Jared Allen and all the rest of the role players just can't. I mean, they're not. Aaron Allen's a role player. Mobley should be a star. He's not anymore. But we've talked about that before. He will be again, I think. He's a great player. But the question is, can Cleveland win on the road? If not, obviously they're not getting out of this series. It's not possible. But the question is, can Donovan Mitchell replicate what he did in the second half last night and avoid falling into the trap of what he did in the first half? Will James Harden do anything that will help this team win? He played fairly well in the games at home, but he's, coming into those games, he had more turnovers than field goals made in this series. So we'll see what happens tonight. I think Detroit takes it. We'll get that word in a couple hours. We'll see what happens. Maybe this will be a close one. Maybe Detroit will blow them up. Maybe Cleveland will surprise and really run away with it. But yeah, it's all on Donovan Mitchell, and obviously for Detroit, it's basically all on Cade Cunningham. We'll see if Tobias Harris can play second fiddle. We'll see if someone else steps up. But we'll see what happens. It's been a fantastic series, obviously. I didn't expect that. I expected the Pistons to just get by these Cavaliers and face the Knicks in the finals, but the Eastern Conference Finals. We shall see. Enjoy the games. We'll be back maybe before the game, maybe after the game. I'll try and get it out as soon as possible with Rob Adams' take on New York baseball.